Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 2021 League Racing video. As you guys know, PSGL has ended, and as I want to continue with League Racing, I've chosen to jump into WOR. We're halfway through the season, so it's very unlikely we're gonna win the championship, but it's not impossible. So we're just gonna try and win as much races as possible, and I just enjoy League Racing, so that's why I signed up, and you know, it keeps me sharp for F1 esports as well. At the same time, it's a lot of fun, of course. So yeah, this is round 6. Or actually, I'm not sure. Might be a lot further down the calendar, but I think after this race there are 6 races to go. So yeah, Jake Benham currently leading the standings by, yeah, I don't know how much points, but I think he's 93 points at the moment. After this race I will show the standings. Currently we are out for a first run in the short quali. WR only does short qualifyings with a 50% race. So no Q1, Q2, Q3, it's just an 18-minute short qualifying. And so yeah, we basically it's a 3-time laps around Spa, and we are preparing our first one right here. As quite a lot of cars ahead of us driving slowly, so we have to back off a bit to leave that space, and then we can start pushing our first lap. Spa is also in the next event of F1 esports, but on purpose I did not practice for the race, so I focus on other tracks more. So I didn't have to send back if I didn't practice for it, because I would simply be not as fast. So that's why I did not practice for it, so I just go flat out and push as hard as I can. Coming out of the final corner, you want a long run, so that's why we prepare the exit so much. I'm gonna keep it in 7th gear and then down the gears, 3rd gear, big lock up into turn 1, and we use the curb on the exit there. Maximize minimum speed into a Rouge, and then up the hill, Radeon. Williams getting out of the way there, and then we're gonna open up the DRS on Camel Straight, as I have no idea why I'm doing that. I was bored, I think so. It's a very long straight, so you know, you need to entertain yourself sometimes. Through the Lacombe section, 5th gear, and then charge it to 6th to try and keep that back end stable. And we're gonna be braking on the side of that curb. Downhill right-hander, and it's very easy to lock up the right front. Downhill corner, so means more understeer, and then into the fastest corner on this track, pull on. Very easy to run wide and get an invalidation. And as it's our banker lap, we don't want to take too much risk through there just yet. Now to 5th gear, next chicane, take that inside curb, and 6th for the next right-hander. Very hard to keep the minimum speed there, but it's very important as this is a long exit up to Blanchimol. All flat out here, heading towards Blanchimol. Blanchimol also easy flat, even in the wet. It's easy flat these days. And then past up chicane, gonna be braking just after the 100 meters and down to 3rd gear. Minimum speed very important, but he needs to get that exit here on the run up to the line. It's a 41.4, which is now for P3 on the grid at the moment. Jake Benham in P1 with a 141.3. Now our second push lap did not went as good. See, we were up on our time by half a tenth, but then I got a little bit of a moment and invalidated my second lap as we were P4 on the grid. John Evans went up to P1, but I think he's already finished his lap, so not a good second push lap. And now we're a bit tight on time. You can see there's only 11 seconds remaining in the top right, so we have to rush a little bit there, try and make that. And now this is gonna be the lap. It's gonna be very, very important, as if we don't get it together, we will drop outside of the top 10 definitely. Track evolution has kicked in properly, and you have to make up quite a bit of time. Currently P1 is a 141.2, so we have to make up at least 2 tenths if we want to go on provisional pole, but I expect someone definitely improve even further. into the second sector. We're gonna go down to 5th gear, use it inside curb, a lot more minimum speed than on our first push lap. You can see, coming out of this right-hander, we're 1.5 tenths up. Go into the next downhill right, and as I said, easy to lock up, but we get it right, we get the rotation, and now we're well over 2 tenths up. Next left-hander, nice rotation through there, up to P1, and we're already 2.6 tenths up. Now, as I said, on the banker I took it safe. I missed the apex a bit and got some understeer mid-corner. So we still did improve, but not as much as I would have liked. Through the next chicane, again, we're taking a lot more risk than we did on our first lap. Another 200-300 gain. And now we do get the minimum speed I was talking about. Banker lap, purple middle sector, as we go into the final sector. Jake Benham goes to pole position with a 141.094. And we've dropped down to P7, so crucial we get this final bus stop chicane right. Again, braking as late as we can, a little bit of lock up into that first right-hander, but we get it right. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, and up to the line, it's gonna be a pole position with a 141.055. And that was crucial we got it right, because, you know, we're still aiming for the championship, but it's gonna be very, very hard to get that, of course. If we want to get a championship, we're going to have to win every race. And Jake kind of has to get a little bit unlucky if we still want to get it. We obviously entered the championship very late. I think it's around 8 or 9. But I'm not 100% sure about that. So pole position by 400s to Jake Benham. And we are 8.600s faster than Samuel Bean. Our teammate Danny Moreno was in P14, I think so. Remember correct? Strategy-wise, it is soft medium, as you could see, very briefly.
Oh, Michael is driving as well.
As you could see on that screen. So yeah, soft medium, hards are basically never used around Spa in 50% of races. Yeah, should be easy soft medium, but of course we can play around with what lap we're gonna box. We can go for a very aggressive undercut, or we can go long and be faster in the end on the medium compound. My teammate Danny Moreno and I think everyone else outside of the top 10 is going to be starting on the mediums. That's going to be interesting, and we're going to have to look out for some people starting on the mediums towards the end of the race. But now let's head into the start of the race. It's 5 red lights, and away we go for our debut in WOR. Pretty good start, better than Jake Benham into turn 1. A little bit of a lock up as I go into turn 1, but good start. We managed to maintain the lead, but now there's a huge slipstreaming opportunity for everyone behind me, so I have to keep the overtake button on. You can see we're draining the battery as I'm trying to break the slipstream down into the Lecombe section in around 1 kilometer time. As Jake Benham goes around the outside, you see we've used so much ERS on the run towards Lecombe, and we managed to keep the lead. Behind us, nothing much has changed. Michael Romanidis up to P4, and Shanna Kinsey down in P5. John Evans managed to get himself up. He had a poor last run in qualifying, I think so, but he had a very good second run with that 41.2. So didn't manage to clutch it up, as now DRS is activated and Jake Benham is going to be going for a move here into Lecombe. Wanted to be safe of Samuel Bean, that's why I used a little bit of overtake to try and stay ahead there. But down to P2 we go, which is fine. As I said more times in the past in league racing around Spa, you just want to either be P1 or P2 heading into the final lap. So currently I just want to save my tires so we can go as long as possible. That's my plan here. I want to go as long as possible on the softs so we have better tires towards the end of the race. We will definitely get undercut by a few people, but I'm completely fine with that. Behind us still same order: Samuel Bean, Michael Romanidis and John Evans in P5. I expect someone like John to go for the undercuts probably, as I think he has good pace but just didn't get quality together. So that's going to be interesting. Into Lecombe. Now we've managed to overtake Jake Benham again. It's probably the best that we just keep switching around. And I think we both want to be either P1 or P2. So yes, just saving my tires to extend that first stint, and then we can pounce later on this race. But yeah, we will take the pain if we go 1 or 2 laps longer than everyone else. It's a very long track, so if we extend our first stint, the undercut is going to be massive. A lot of time is there to be made up if you're on new tires, because it's so long, of course. So we're definitely going to lose quite some positions, but that's fine. Now up the hill, you can see Jake Venom only 2.4 tenths behind us. I'm using my overtake, but Samuel being behind Jake Venom also has the DRS, and there's nothing we can do here because we just don't have the straight line speed compared to people who had DRS. But that's fine because I expect them to pit this lap, because otherwise they probably would have not tried to overtake me and just stay behind. Yeah, you basically want to have the track position once you box as virtual safety cars deployed. But by the time we get to the pits, it's probably stopped again. So, you know, you can see there virtual safety car ending, and Samuel Bean has a drive-through penalty. So he's basically out of this race at this point, because if he's gonna pit this lap, then he's gonna have to serve the drive-through. It automatically serves the drive-through before you make the pit stop. So he's gonna lose 10 seconds probably. Yeah, he's basically out of this race, because if you lose 10 seconds in a 22 lap race, no way you make it up. Samuel Bean and Jake Benham pit, but we're gonna continue for another lap. Shanna Kinsey behind us continues for another lap as well. We still will have DRS on this little straight. Now it's time to give it my all. Push as hard as I can on this lap. Use the ERS, use the tires, because the tires are going to be coming off at the end of either this lap or next lap, depending how the balance is on this lap. As you can see there, I went for one extra lap. After that, I used my ERS to the maximum.
Come in at the end of this lap.
Shanna Kinsey pitted at the end of lap 8, and I pushed as hard as I could on this lap. And now, you can see Danny Moreno, teammate, started P14, only 1.5 seconds behind us. But of course he's on the medium, so he gained some time while our softs were dropping off. So I just want to do as much medium soft laps as possible, so we're faster towards the end of the race. Boxing for brand new mediums then. Danny Moreno already had a 3-second penalty? Not sure actually. Michael Romanides.
I'm gonna come out behind that train, I think so.
Michael Romanides already has a 3-second penalty, so we don't have to worry about him
that
probably.
Is fine, you know.
So yeah, coming out, we're gonna be coming out behind Tom Martinez. I'm not gonna be using my ERS because I want to get the DRS on Camel straight, so I'm gonna let him go here and now use my overtake. I'm gonna use his slipstream to launch myself up to the group of John Evans. You can see John Evans in P9, which is net P3, and we have to close that gap as soon as possible so we can get back into the DRS of that group. We of course have 3 lap fresher tires, I think, than John Evans. So that's pretty huge actually. So the tire advantage is basically going to last the whole race.
We didn't lose that much time. This is fine.
As you can hear me say, I was pretty surprised that I came out so close to the group ahead of me, because I'm easily going to make up the time. I've lost no time because of the DRS as well, of course. See, I only have to gain 3 tenths in the middle sector to get back into the DRS, and we're still doing fine on ERS levels as well. See the battery 56%. So if we need, we can push that battery lower as well. We are not going to be able to get in the DRS, but we will. You can see we've already caught up within 1 second. John managed to overtake Michael. Who has that 3-second penalty, of course. As teammate Danny Moreno is still out actually. Still going strong on the medium, so he's doing the same as what I did on the softs basically, but he's just extending as much as he can. So he's fast towards the end of the race on the softs. But of course he's going to have to do a lot of overtaking. We still have DRS. As John Evans goes for a move up ahead. I felt like Mike was probably trying to pass John here, and he forced him to overtake Jake in P2. And in this meantime,
whoops,
as I get my first warning of the race.
Well, luckily it's only my first warning.
In the meantime, I've just been saving my tires, because there's no point in pushing and getting into a net P1 if we don't need to. Because we want to be P1 in the last lap of the race and not P1 now. So there's no point in leading as Michael Romanides got a poor run through P1. Now we're gonna use the overtake button, but it's slightly more momentum.
Do they have any wings on? What?
Can we say Michael's on very low wings? That's what I felt like, at least coming out of P1. But here the wider line, so with more momentum, of course. Now, I'm gonna be going for it again. My ERS levels were 100%, so I kind of have to go for it now, as my teammate Danny Moreno surely has to pit at the end of this lap. You see that teammate is in the pits, but now I'm gonna use the overtake button again and go around the outside in the bus stop chicane. I can break deeper into the corner. Michael knows that. Kind of has to give up a little bit here. Michael, of course, with a 3-second penalty, doesn't want to fight too much, I think so, because it will just lose him more and more time, drop him more position. So, yeah, he didn't want to fight too hard. He knew we had the tire advantage as well, of course. Now we're going to use the overtake button to try and have a go at Jake Benham. Our teammate Danny Moreno rejoined around 5 seconds behind us. He's heading into a Rouge now, so I think he's around 5 to 6 seconds behind us. But he has brand new soft tires, so he's going to be rapid till the end of the race. So he is definitely a threat in this race. As John Evans gets a little bit of a moment through Lecombe, and we are still going to be saving tires through the middle sector because there's no way I could overtake Jake somewhere in there. Danny Moreno sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:42.8, which was 2.5 seconds faster than we did on the lap. Of course, he had to overtake people and probably pushing his ERS a lot. But you can see in the top left, he has a 6-second time penalty. So, unless he can pull a 6-second gap, he's not going to win this race. So, he's not really a threat. But I want to basically pass everyone ahead of me before Danny arrives. So, I can kind of follow him around, use him to my advantage. So, not really a way around here. Jake gets a big moment, and I knew that was the moment I had to go for it. I didn't need a second invitation for that one, and down the inside up to P2 we go. And we still have 90% ERS. So that was a pass that basically costed me no battery. And now we have a full battery and we are in P2 as our teammate Danny Moreno is closing on the very fast. But yeah, Danny basically in a prime position to win this race, but he has that 6-second penalty, of course. In this game, sometimes you get a double warning, so I kind of felt like I had to try and stay within 3 seconds just in case one of the penalties was going to get removed. So, still going to be pushing here, try and stay with my teammate Danny Moreno once he overtakes us, because it's kind of inevitable that he will. As you can see, the slipstream is massive on the way through the bus stop chicane. You just have to stay behind now and get the DRS on the long back straight as we put a personal best of 1:44.5. Now is the time we can use our tire advantage. Someone sends it down the inside. Jake was braking a little bit deep into the corner, so I left a little bit of space in case he overshot it. I don't want to get spun around, of course. Now, up the hill we go. Up Camel Straight we go. Danny Moreno right behind us. I'm going to be using my battery to overtake John Evans here. And see, our teammate Danny Moreno is having a little look, but I wanted to stay ahead because if he goes past us now, it's going to be like 2 seconds per lap faster and he will have a chance to win the race ahead of us. So I want to stay ahead for at least one more lap. We had more battery to do so. That's why we were leading into the Lecombe section. Now, basically it's just waiting until my teammate overtakes us. So yeah, just gonna be waiting until he gets DRS onto either the main straight or up Camel Straight. As we go on to the start of lap 20 now, we put a personal best by half a second. So as I said, we were just saving tires in the meantime, while the others were pulling us along. Now I'm gonna be using a little bit of ERS, so Danny doesn't get stuck behind me up by Rouge, and then he's gonna have an easy pass on Camel Straight. I didn't really know what way to go because I didn't want to block him here. Yeah, I went to the inside. It's just gonna get me anyway. So now we can tuck into the slipstream and try to stay with him. Jake Benham and John Evans are going side by side into Lecombe, and Jake Benham has spun around and is basically, well, not out of the race, but dropped.
Oh, Jake is off, I think so.
He has dropped off really far now. He's probably down P10 or P11, I think so. Maybe even farther. I'm not sure. But next
I won't be able to stay in the DRS of Danny, I think so. But can get out of the DRS from John.
As the next ultimate strat runner is WOR who has a massive comeback drive. He was starting P11. Oh, he's doing phenomenal in this race. P11 to P5 against a very, very good grid. So, GG to him. As I said, I'm pushing to get out of the DRS from John Evans, and we have managed to do so. Danny has pulled out of the DRS. Those softs are working very nicely for him. So, we kept pushing. We tried to stay within the 3-second window of our teammate Danny Moreno. We managed to do so into the bus stop. Chicane for the final time. John Evans has been overtaken by Michael Romanidis, but he has a 6-second time penalty. So, I'm gonna come home in P1. P2 on track, but P1 after penalties. After the track limit penalties. Just checking the warnings there.
Grazie ragazzi. P1 Sebastian, P1.
So, John Evans came home in P2. We won the race on penalties. Our teammate Danny Moreno in P3 just came short, 3/10 to John Evans for a P2 spot. But yeah, still phenomenal debut. It was pretty hard, of course, without a lot of practice. We've done a lot of practice around Spa at the start of the game, but not since the performance update. So, made it a little bit hard, but at the same time, I do this for practice. So, it was definitely a lot of fun. John Evans and Jake Benham definitely, I feel like, the stars of today. They drove phenomenally. Unfortunately, Jake had that spin, of course. So that's unfortunate, but very, very good race. You can see there. Joe Hannon came home in P4 from P19 on the grid. As he took advantage from penalties from WOR exit and Michael Romanidis. Jake Benham sneaked back up to P6. I think he took quite some places with penalties from others as well. Michael, of course, had 6 seconds. I don't know if anyone else had 6 seconds of penalties, but good for him. We hope Jake scores a little bit less points so we can still fight later on the race. You can see there standings. Jake Benham with 103 points. We have moved up to P11 from P36, basically. As this was our first race. You can see there, this was round 8. Spa was round 8, and there are still 6 races to go. So it's going to be very hard to catch up to Jake Benham. We're basically going to have to win every race, and Jake has to score a few low points. But yeah, very tough to get up there if you're joining past midway season. But we're still going to be pushing for the top spot, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed this league racing video, my debut in WOR. Make sure to check them out on YouTube as well if you want to see the live stream with commentary from the outside, from Spectator Cam. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want to see more. And see you guys next time. Ciao.